Team Fortress has existed for the past 6 years in a dormant state, after being virtually abandoned by Valve. Nonetheless, the last years have given way to new players, but what they lack is knowledge of the old days. I am one of the newer players, just starting at TF2 about 3 years ago. This might seem like blasphemy for someone who is currently claiming that they can make a video on the history of TF2, but I assure you that this video is well researched, and I hope to spread this knowledge to more people, like you, the viewer. So, in this video, I am to give a well put together total history of all major updates for TF2, from its earliest roots to its last updates. However, this time, I'm not doing this video alone. I'm joined by my loyal co-worker, Josh. Say hello, Josh.
Hello, Josh. Salam alaikum.
So, if you appreciate our work, why don't you like the video and subscribe? And if you have anything epic to say, leave a comment. It's much appreciated, and we really do read them. But first, before we begin, I'm going to set up a few rules to make this video easier to understand. First, I'm only going to count most updates listed on TF2's official website. And because of that, I won't list every single little update and patch, and the Saxy Awards. Second, I'm only going to mention new features, new maps, new game modes, new weapons, new achievements, and important events. I will only broadly mention new cosmetics, with new wearables, new unusuals, new paints, new taunts, and new weapon reskins counting as cosmetics. I also will never mention patch notes and balancing tweaks because that's just stupid and boring. With these basic rules out of the way, let's begin. To truly catalog all of TF2's development and update history, we must first go back to the 1990s. For no reason other than wanting an opportunity to mention another one of my favorite games, we begin with the release of Doom back in December of 1999. It had many predecessors before it, such as the also notable Wolfenstein 3D, but Doom lit the fire that truly kickstarted the FPS genre. Not too long after, in June of 1996, id, the same developers who made Doom, made Quake. While the original Doom's engine was limited to 2.5D, a sort of pseudo 3D with limitations, Quake had fully 3D graphics, which took the PC FPS genre into a new era. Because Quake was widely popular, it ended up receiving much community-made content, like mods. One such mod, released just over 2 months after Quake released, in August of 1996, was the first version of Team Fortress. And to list the updates of the original Team Fortress, take it away, Josh.
This original version only featured 5 classes, those being Scout, Sniper, Soldier, Demo, and Medic. The first update, added a week after release, would add Heavy and a map named 245, which was a primitive version of today's 2-Fort. In September, the much beloved random class was added, and during Halloween of 1996, the Pyro class was added. After a few more relevant updates, the game was ported to Quake World Engine near Christmas of 1996, and in January of 1997, Civilian class was added. Much later in June, the final 2 classes were added, those being Spy and Engineer. The final version of the original Team Fortress was released on May 21st of 1998. Salam alaikum.
As the original Team Fortress ended development, Valve devoured the project and turned it into Team Fortress Classic, which was released in April of 1999. The key difference being that Team Fortress Classic ran on Valve's Gold Source engine instead of the Quake or the Quake World engine, although the Gold Source engine was just a modified Quake engine made for the original Half-Life. To this day, it's still very easy to play Team Fortress Classic, as it's available on Steam and has running servers. After Team Fortress Classic was released, Valve started work on a sequel. This is where those 9 infamous years of development occurred, and I'll touch on a few key parts of it. At first, TF2 was going to be dark and realistic, and have the title Team Fortress 2, Brotherhood of Arms. This was scrapped, thankfully, in favor of the more cartoony style, and by 2006, the game was starting to look pretty good. Between 2006 and 2007, the game was refined, and some tweaks were made, but eventually, at long last, after 9 years of development, Team Fortress 2 was worth the wait.
The first edition of TF2 was about as raw as you could get, with the 9 classes only having their stock loadouts and game modes like Payload not existing yet. It's also this version of the game that is basically the eternal version of the console orange box release of TF2, with only a few patches coming out since the original release. Salam alaikum.
However, things finally started to get more exciting with the release of TF2's first major update, the Gold Rush update, which was released on April 29th, 2008. The big changes were the release of the map Gold Rush, which introduced Payload to TF2, and some new content from Medic. Medic received 3 new weapons, the Blutsauger, the Kritzkrieg, and the Ubersaw. To unlock these weapons, a medic could complete part of the 36 new achievements for the class.
Next, we have the Pyro update that came before Jungle Inferno, just known as the Pyro update, which was released on June 19, 2008. The update introduced 2 new community-made maps, Fastlane and Turbine. That's right, Turbine is not Valve's fault. In addition to that, Pyro received 3 new achievement unlock weapons, the Flare Gun, the Backburner, and the Extinguisher. The weapons could be unlocked by completing some of the new 35 achievements for Pyro. Salam alaikum.
The next update is the Heavy update, which unfortunately unfortunately has not received a sequel in the modern day. It was released on August 19th, 2008, and came out swinging with 3 big changes. The first of those was 4 new maps. One was the community-made attack and defense map Steel, another was the Valve-made iconic payload map Badwater Basin, and 2 new maps for the brand new arena mode, Lumberyard and Ravine. The second big change was 2 new weapons for Heavy, the Killing Gloves of Boxing, more commonly abbreviated as the KGBs, and a Natasha. The third big change, surprise surprise, was 35 new achievements for Heavy.
Continuing the trend of class-based updates, on February 24, 2009, we got the Scout update. The maps added this time were the Arena map Watchtower, 2 new attack and defense maps Junction in Egypt, and an update to Fastlane. Scout got 3 new weapons, the Force Nature Bonk and the Sandman, alongside a new set of achievements. Salam alaikum.
We begin to divert from the class update pattern of the Sniper vs. Spy update, which was released on May 21st, 2009. The update's big gimmick was having 2 big class updates at the same time, and they delivered. Both classes got 3 new weapons. The Sniper received the Huntsman, the Razorback, and the Durati, and Spy received the Dead Ringer, the Cloak and Dagger, and the Ambassador. Both classes also got their own sets of new achievements. The update also came with 4 new maps. 2 arena maps, Sawmill Nucleus, a lone community-made payload map, Hoodoo, and Pipeline, which is the map that introduced a payload race game mode. Beyond that, there was also an assortment of new hats.
Up next, on August 13, 2009, was the classless update, which, as the name implies, didn't focus on any specific class and didn't bring any new weapons. The biggest thing was the new game mode King of the Hill, which dropped with an all-new map Viaduct and conversions of Sawmill Nucleus. Alongside the new mode there were 2 other map-related changes, the new control points map Yukonic, and a conversion of Sawmill to capture the flag. Besides a bunch of map things, there were new hats like Salam alaikum.
2 days before Halloween of 2009, the first Scream Fortress event occurred, although at the time it went by the name Haunted Halloween Special. The update introduced the normal Scream Fortress things, like exploding pumpkins, alongside the new King of the Hill map Harvest, which had a spooky version at launch. Other than that, there was 5 Halloween-limited achievements, and a mildly disturbing set of hats.
After that, on December 17, 2009, we saw the release of the Huge War update. The update focused on a soldier versus demo man war, with both sides fighting to see who would get the gunboats. Demo Man received 3 new weapons, 2 of which were meant for the new Demo Knight subclass. The new weapon for the standard Demo Man was the Scottish Resistance, and the 2 new Demo Knight weapons were the Islander and the Charge and Targe. Soldier shared the other half of the update but received 4 weapons instead, as he won the war for the gunboats. The other 3 new weapons were the Direct Hit, the Equalizer, and the Buff Banner. Other than that, new sets of achievements were released for both Soldier and Demo Knight, and the new crafting mechanic was introduced. Salam alaikum.
Next we have the April 29th, 2010, 119th update, which is confusing within the context of this video, as it tallied both the number of major updates and smaller patches. In fact, this entire update is against us, as the only changes were the introduction of the new mercenary badges and Meet the Team video releases that are relevant to this video.
Up next, we have another empty update with the Mecha update, which, if you couldn't have guessed, launched TF2 on macOS on June 10, 2010. The only other things were new modes: the eternally lacking training mode, TF2's tutorial, and offline practice mode. Salam alaikum.
We return to good updates again of the Engineer update, which is released on July 8th, 2010. The update introduced 4 new weapons to Engineer: the Frontier Justice, the Gunslinger, the Wrangler, and the community-made Southern Hospitality. There was also 3 new maps: Thunder Mountain, Upward, and Hightower. Besides that, there was also the obligatory new set of Engineer achievements, and with that update, all 9 classes had now received a major update. On September 30th of 2010, the virtual economy would be changed forever with the launch of the Manconomy update. The biggest and most important change that the Manconomy update introduced was the introduction of the Manco store and the Steam market system to TF2. The next big thing was the introduction of what could maybe be counted as the only case of TF2 being pay to win: the introduction of 5 new sets. When all items in a set were equipped, the player would receive a bonus buff, which could only be done by paying for the cosmetics in the set. The 5 sets included the following items: Soldier got the Tank Buster set with the Black Box, the Battalion's Backup, and a Grenadier soft cap. Scout got the Special Delivery set with the Mad Milk, the Shortstop, the Milkman, and the Holy Mackerel. Pyro got the Gas Jockey's gear set with the Degreaser, the Attendant, and the Power Jack. Sniper got the Croco style kit set with the old Snaggletooth, the Darwin's Danger Shield, the Bushwhacker, and the Cine Sleeper. And Spy got the Saharan Spy set with the Your Eternal Reward, the Le Ranger, and the familiar Fez. If you're wondering why the sets made the game more pay to win, the Sniper set made you immune to headshots, and the Scout set gave you 25 more health. Enough said. The update, besides the usual new hats, also introduced new types of items: the paints, the name tags, gifts, and minigames. One new type of item introduced was the most unholy one, supply crates, otherwise known as loot crates, which helped spark the plug that made microtransactions in gaming what they are today.
After that huge update, we got the second annual Scream Fortress update on October 27th, 2010, 4 days before the Halloween that year. The notable things that year were the introduction of Man Manor, which debuted the horseless headless horseman, the introduction of the gift wrapping mechanic, and the introduction of the haunted Halloween gift, an item that would spawn around maps like today's soul gargoyles and give items like today's Halloween packages. Salam alaikum.
On December 17th, 2010, we got what is now counted as the first major Smithmas event, the Australian Christmas update. The update had 3 main features. There was the obligatory new festive crates with festive items, the introduction of medieval mode alongside its map the Guru Keep, and the new stamp system for community-made maps prior to this update.
Months later, on April 14th, 2011, we got the Hatless update. As the name implies, this features 0 new hats. Besides that, only had a few cool new things. The 2 most notable features added to the update were the new coaching system, where angels go to die, and the new voting system, which had remained a key weapon in the fight against cheaters and bots to this day. Other than that, there was a new King of the Hill conversion of Badlands and some smaller improvements on features. Salam alaikum.
The next update was the replay update, which was released on May 5th, 2011. The update was much like the previous one in the sense that it added some mostly irrelevant features. The star of the show was the new replay system, or the demo system. This new feature allows players to record all actions taken within the match and turn them into a replay. The replay could then be edited and made into a movie. The replay system is introduced with 8 new achievements, like the unholy YouTube achievements, of which this channel technically has only gotten 3 of. Besides that, there was also a new hat and some taunts that could be earned via the replay achievements.
Up next, we got another class update, the Uber update, which was released on June 23rd, 2011. The update introduced a new set of 3 medic weapons, the Quick Fix, the Overdose, and the
Solemn Val, my beloved.
Salam alaikum.
Later that year, on October 30th, we got the Maniversary update. The biggest new feature was the introduction of the Steam Workshop functionality, the TF2, which continues to haunt us to this day. There was also other notable things, like the introduction of a second miscellaneous slot, loadout presets, and custom decals, which came with custom decal weapons like the Conscientious Objector. There was also a new crate, new cosmetics, and new taunts, such as the new High Five taunt and a reskin for Demo's bottle, the Scottish Handshake. Notably, this update cursed us to the haunting Vuvuzela Noisemaker.
Later that month, 4 days before Halloween, on October 27th, 2011, we got the 3rd annual Scream Fortress event. The spooky new features were the introduction of Monoculus, his map Iaduct, new cosmetics, and 2 new Halloween achievements. Salam alaikum.
Before Christmas that year, on December 15th, 2011, we got the 2nd ever Christmas event, Australian Christmas 2011. There were 2 new engineer weapons for the Brainiac pack set, the Eureka Effect and the Pomsant, my beloved. Pyro got the Moonman pack with 3 new weapons, the 3rd Degree, the Flog, and the Man Melter. The new map wasn't very festive, as it was Foundry, which also came with 2 new map-specific achievements. Beyond that, there were the obligatory new festive cosmetics.
Summer the next year, on June 27th, 2012, we got the Pyromania update. Well, not really an update for TF2. The Pyromania update introduced Swords Filmmaker to the public, which was very cool. Besides that, there was the new map Doomsday, which introduced the special delivery game mode and came with a new set of achievements. The new sets for this update were crime themed. Scout got the Public Enemy set with the Pretty Boy's pocket pistol and the Babyface's blaster. Sniper got the Urban Professional set with the Cleaner's carbine and the Hitman's Heatmaker. Soldier got the Dumpster Diver set with the Beggar's Bazooka, and while he didn't get a set, Pyro got the Scorch Shot. The last big thing in this update was the introduction of Pyroland with the Pyrovision goggles and other new cosmetic things. Salam alaikum.
Later that summer, on August 15th, 2012, the awesome Man vs. Machine update dropped. Besides the release of the incredible TF2 short, there was obviously the addition of the huge new game mode, Man vs. Machine. The game mode came with the introduction of most of the machines, 3 new maps, Cold Town, Decoy, and Manworks, the ability to man up for loot with tickets, and bot killer weapons. Other than that, there was a new set of MVM achievements and new cosmetics.
For Stream Fortress 4 on October 26, 2012, we got plenty of goodies. Most notably, there was an introduction of Marasmus alongside his map, Ghost Fort, which also came with 2 new achievements. Marasmus also used the Abominomicon to introduce the Wheel of Fate, the random effect thing on some Halloween maps, and magic spells. MVM also got some love with Wave 666, a wave that turned all robots into zombies. Salam alaikum.
Instead of a true Christmas update that year, on December 20th, 2012, we got the Mecha update. For MVM, the new map Big Rock was added along with the introduction of the Mecha Engineer robot. There was also 3 new weapons, the Rescue Ranger, the Loose Cannon, and a Vaccinator. And of course, since it was still the holidays, there were festive new cosmetics.
The next year, on May 17th, on 2013, first ever fully community made update, Robotic Boogaloo Boogaloo was released. While the fully community-made update has made the only thing we get now, this was the first ever one, like the ones we get today. It was made entirely out of new cosmetics. One funny thing is that on the official TF2 website, artwork made by someone named Fudgy Wudgy was officially endorsed. Salam alaikum.
This year's Cream Fortress event, the 5th ever, released on October 29th, 2013. This year's big new introductions were Spellbooks and Hell Tower. There were also 8 new Halloween achievements this time, and many new cosmetics.
MVM got another big update this year on November 21st, 2013 with the 2 cities update. The update introduced 2 new maps known as the 2 cities, which are Manhattan and Rottenburg. Of course, alongside with the new maps, there was also an introduction of new MVM loot, Australian weapons, the bane of my existence. However, that was not all that would make me cry, as there were the introduction of killstreak kits as loot from MVM. Classes within MVM also got an update, with Medic and Soldier getting new upgrades and abilities such as Medic's new ability to revive dead players. Additionally, the new map Snake Water was added to standard multiplayer, as well as a new set of achievements for the 3 new maps within the update and another miscellaneous set. Salam alaikum.
That year on December 20th, 2013, Australian Christmas was changed and released as the less religion-specific 2013 Smithmas update. This year didn't have much, but did add features such as the Giftapult and Secret Sexton. Other than that, it was just a standard affair for a holiday event.
Next year's summer saw the release of Love and War update on June 18th, 2014. The update saw the release of 5 new weapons, the Backscatter, the Tide Turner, the Base Jumper, the Classic, and the Airstrike. There were also a bunch of new cosmetics and even new achievements based on those cosmetics on top of even more new achievements. Salam alaikum.
The 6th annual Scream Fortress event occurred later that year on October 29th, 2014. The update introduced the new map Carnival of Carnage, which brought with it the bumper car minigames. On top of that, there was a standard mix of spells, cosmetics, and achievements.
December 8th, 2014 saw the release of the End of the Line update, which was the community-made update. All that was added was 1 million community-made cosmetics. Have a good day. Salam alaikum.
Just a few weeks later, Smithmas 2014 was released on December 22nd, 2014. This year it gave us the gift of 3 new weapons, the Iron Bomber, the Quickie Bomb Launcher, and a Panic Attack. Additionally, the beta for the new irrelevant game mode Manpower was public, and it was very exciting. Other than that, there was 100 million new cosmetics.
Summer next year had the release of the Gunmetal update on July 2nd, 2015. The Gunmetal update's big thing was the campaign contracts, which had many delicious rewards that could be obtained by completing them. These rewards are mostly funny painted cool looking guns to ogle at. The update also had 4 new maps, Powerhouse, Borneo, Suijin, and Snowplow. Besides that, there were a billion other new cosmetics and some new achievements. Salam alaikum.
The Invasion update, my beloved, was released on October 6, 2015. This update was another community-made update, but this time there was slightly more than the usual trillions of new cosmetics. The update came with 4 new maps, 2 for Invasion, Watergate, Probed, and Buyer. Truly one of the updates of all time.
Borneo! This year's 7th annual Scream Fortress event was released on October 28th, 2015. It came with 4 big beautiful maps, Gorge event, Hellstone Moonshine event, and Sunshine, which came before the real Sunshine's release. There was also the addition of the irrelevant Manpower game mode and Soul Gargoyles. Howling contracts basically entered their final form and 1 billion new cosmetics were released. Salam alaikum.
The very special winter update, Tough Break, was released on December 17th, 2015. The update came with 4 new maps, the Snowy Coast, Vanguard, High Pass, and Landfall. It also added 26 new contracts and a bunch of new cosmetics. Wow, updates are starting to get less and less features. Surely this isn't a sign that something is about to go wrong, right?
The Meet Your Match update released in July 2016 was a baller update that introduced several major updates to the game. Casual matchmaking was updated with a more structured matchmaking system, and the player could select specific maps and game modes to play in the game. There's also the update where they added abandon penalties to discourage players from leaving the game early, like CJ, also known as Catholic OP Son. This update also added competitive mode so all the spy anime profile pictures could sweat their chuddy little hearts out and cry on Twitter about how they should remove pyros from the game. They added new maps, but they are all irrelevant because none of them were Borneo, my beloved. Contracts were introduced so people had a side objective to do, and they balanced weapons. Salam alaikum.
The final cool Scream Fortress update was released on October 21st, 2016. It had 3 new Halloween maps, Brimstone, Maple Ridge Event, and Pit of Death. Other than that, you can guess what else was in this update. That's right, a quadrillion new cosmetics.
If I sound like an AI, it's because I'm using ChatGPT, but don't tell Alex. Anyways, the 2016 Smithmas update was not so cool because they didn't make anything around Borneo, my beloved.
And at long last, we finally reached the final major update for TF2, Jungle Inferno, which was released released over 6 years ago on October 20th, 2017. The update had 6 new maps: Mercenary Park, Lazarus, Moss Rock, Banana Bay, Enclosure, and Brazil. The final contract campaign ever was released too, the Jungle Inferno campaign, which can still be purchased and played to this day. This new campaign even came with the contractor, which didn't exist before the update, and added the ability to cooperate on contracts. Of course, the contracts came with their own massive set of cosmetics. Now, before the update, it was up to the community to decide whether Pyro or Heavy would be the focus of the update, and Pyro won. To this day, we may regret this, since the Heavy update never came, but nonetheless, this Pyro-themed update came with 5 new weapons, 4 of which were for Pyro: the Dragon's Fury, the Thermal Thruster, the Gas Passer, and the Hot Hand, and 1 new weapon for Heavy as compensation, the second banana. Other than those big things, there was a quintillion new cosmetics, but no new achievements. So sad. After Jungle Inferno, TF2 never got another major update, but along the way, we have gotten the usual seasonal and holiday updates with the early summer, winter, Scream Fortress, and Smithson's updates. These updates have usually just added a bunch of new community-made cosmetics and some also community-made maps. However, the 2 most recent updates as of the writing of this video is Summer 2023 and Scream Fortress 2023 have featured a little more content, as they also had new community-made game modes and community-made patches. And that ends this video, and I hope that you appreciated the extra effort that we put in this one. I've recently switched from a twice-a-week schedule to a once-a-week schedule, and this has really given me more time to put effort into these videos. If you liked it, why don't you show us support by liking, subscribing, and leaving your opinion in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching.